Okay, everyone, how's everybody doing this morning? I know you can't answer, it's just what I like to say. I'm doing great, feeling good. Been on keto a month. This shirt right here used to be super tight, like that, and now it's loose. So, keto, low carb, whatever you want to do, it does work along with exercise. Anyway, moving on. Just wanted to brag on myself a minute. Anyway, so moving on. So, what we're doing today, we're doing salsa, just, you know, I'm gonna say it's not super chunky because we are gonna boil it or cook it, so it's gonna cook down a little bit, but it's semi chunky. Um, this is this would be the equivalent to just making pico de gallo if you've ever made that. It's gonna have the same flavor before you cook it, and you could dip your chip right in it then, especially taste test. So what we're gonna do is I have 10 pounds of Roma tomatoes. Use whatever tomatoes you like. However, paste tomatoes, which are what Romas are the best. They have the least amount of water, so your salsa won't get liquidy. So I'm going to wash these later, but anyway, let's just go over what we have. I may have too many jalapeños. I just grabbed a bunch. So we got 10 pounds of tomatoes. I'm going to I need 2 to 3 cups of onion. So depending on how much these 3 onions, it may only just be the one. But I definitely need 2 cups, depending on how that goes. We'll see. I have 2 bell peppers, just green bell peppers. Feel free to use another color, but it makes it pop. And the green bell pepper, to me, has a stronger flavor. That's why I like it. We like it in certain dishes. Now, in other dishes, we prefer the red and the orange. Anyway, so I have 2, 4, 6, 9 jalapenos. I'm probably not going to put all of those in there, but I have them if we need them. So it's easy to chop up more if it doesn't have enough heat. And of course, if you don't really like a lot of heat, then by all means use less. This is no specific heat requirement. I'm going to use at least 3 of them, I know for sure, for this recipe. So, and it's the wrong time of the year, so they didn't have any fresh at the store, so I'm using this hatch chilies in a can. I just like the taste of the chiles in the salsa. And 1 to 2 bunches of cilantro. Now, I have said before, it's a tricky thing with certain herbs in your canning. Um, and what I found out why, because I've had batches of salsa when I processed them, the cilantro was so bitter, it had that soap taste. However, what I found out, you have to make sure that the cilantro hasn't bloomed yet. It hasn't went to seed. For those of you that garden, you know what I mean. Um, the younger it is, the better, because you don't have that risk of it turning soapy tasting when you process it. It's fine when it goes into the cold salsa before it's cooked, but after you process it, sometimes it'll do that. But that's what I found out because me and someone were talking about the other day. Well, how do you eat salsa without cilantro? And I'm like, I agree. So my suggestion was to just add it afterwards. So if you're not really sure if it's gonna have a soapy taste to it, you can always add it after when you open it up. That's always an idea. I'm willing to risk it, so we're putting it in there today. But now that I know that, I will make sure when my cilantro comes up that I make sure it's young when I use it in salsa to process. Um, so that being said, we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna rough chop these, and then I have this little. I don't know if anybody else has one of these. When you're cutting a lot of vegetables, it comes in handy. If you're just doing a little bit, I don't use it. But if you're chopping like a lot of vegetables, I know when I made relish last year, this thing came in handy. I'm using the smaller grade, I guess you would call it. And it's really neat. I got it off of Amazon. I'll see if I can find the link. I'm not sure. And then you just lock it into place. Well, it helps if I unlock it first. So, okay, so it just doesn't work. Whatever. Anyway, just be careful. But it's dishwasher friendly. It's really great. And it'll hold up to 5 cups of whatever you're chopping. So I will be demonstrating that later. First thing we're going to do is core the tomatoes. So what you do, see that part? Now, actually, there's two ways of doing this. I think I shared that when I did the strawberry jam. My go-to was to just do it that way. But I told you, I already had it out. Duh. You can use the core thing, the core tools. I showed you that in the strawberry jam. And just take it. And like so. And see here's the core. And throw this in there. So we might do a couple like that. And then I'll show you the other way. And I have my big bowl for my tomatoes, and then I always have a trash bowl. It just makes it easier instead of having to drag the trash can over here and all of that. I just keep the trash bowl so that way it's right there beside me. No big deal. Alright, these are going pretty fast. So I'm going to show you another way before they have these little handy dandy things. You just take a little paring knife. On this occasion, I like these little skinnier, cheaper paring knives because you can get in there better and only get the part that you need to get out. Because it's not really, with the core, it's not really necessary to punch all the way through because this is fine. So you see, when you're using the core tool versus the knife, you waste less. So to each their own. I'm probably just going to use the knife today because it's faster. And this is all you do. While I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a little something. So I will do all this and I will blanch these in hot boiling water and then take them out into either an ice bath or just into a bowl. But there's another way. A Hispanic lady told me how she does hers. She cores them, puts them on a big sheet pan along with the other veggies, and she roasts them. That's also an idea. I think I may try that because I'm going to try my hand at Salsa Verde soon. I'm not fond of the jarred stuff that they have, and there's only been a couple restaurants around here that made it right where it has flavor. So most of the time to me it tastes a little bland. But we are going to dive into Salsa Verde, I think. I think that would be fun. But anyway, I'm going to continue doing this. It's going to take a while. I have 10 pounds. And I will be back to y'all here in a minute. Okay, so now we've got these cored and they're ready to go. I cut off any bad spots that were on the outside. What we're going to do, we're going to blanch them in the boiling water and then put them in a pot, in a bowl or whatever. We're not cooking them. What we're doing is enough to where we can peel the skin off easier. So we're going to throw these in there. Be careful putting them in there. Use this if you need to. And let's see, it's a small one. I'm just using a small pot because whatever. I don't have that much where I need a big pot to make lighter work of it. It's not going to take that long. I weighed these and it's right at like 8.5 pounds actually. I was thinking I had 10 pounds, but it's close enough. Just move them around a little bit. And what you'll notice is, well, they don't float or anything. But what you'll notice when you get them out, is that you can peel the skin easier. And I'm going to show you here in just a minute. I don't know if you can see. See, you can see that one's already have like wrinkles on it. That means that it's almost ready to take out. And it looks like they are ready to take out. So this little spider, it's a neat little thing. I use it for a lot of stuff. Can you see where you can just, it's hot, but you can just peel the skin off now. So let's do some more here in a second. And it shouldn't take long because they've already been cored, so Oh, the skin came off of that one. I was putting it in the bowl. Yeah. Okay. I burned myself last time. I'm gonna be smart and do this. And wait on the next batch. And again, it does not take long. I would say maybe a minute. And look, you can already peel. You already just peel the skin off just like that. And don't throw the skins away. If you want to utilize the whole tomato, I'm going to get into that too when we start dehydrating things. You can make tomato powder out of the skins. You just put it in the dehydrator and however long, and then you take when it's done and crispy, you take it in the grinder, put it in a grinder, and grind it up into powder, and you got tomato powder. Makes a good flavoring agent for soups, stews, all that good stuff. These look ready. And that is all there is to it. We'll do one more round. And then I'm going to turn the camera off and be back to you. Okay, so. And this is the same process like if you want to just can your tomatoes. This is the same process you'd use for that, and then just jar them up and process them. But anyway, I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay. So we got all those blanched, and if you're brave enough to peel them off, go ahead. I'm going to let these cool because I can be doing other stuff while those are cooling for a bit. So what we're going to do first is we're going to chop some onion. And I always cut them in half long ways from root to tip. And that keeps that, the stuff that makes your eyes sting, that keeps that from happening. So that's my gift from me to you, is that's how you cut an onion in half without your eyes watering. Works every time. Or just for me. That's kind of like a thing like, everybody has their own way of peeling eggs when they boil eggs. I've tried a million ways of how other people say it's foolproof, whatever, and I do it and it doesn't work. So, take that with a grain of salt. For me, it works. So, I am going to dice these into small pieces because we just like them like that. If you see, I think I showed you the grade. It's pretty small grade. So, we're going to use that today. Get the skin off of there. Just going to chop enough where it'll fit onto the thing. Usually 2 or 3 pieces. Like this will fit on there. And then make a wow, sorry. I'm just gonna keep repeating the process, and I'll be back to you. Okay, so 2 of the onions worked. That gave me 5 cups, almost 5 cups of onions, which is more than enough. So now what we're gonna do is, now that these have cooled off, we can start peeling them. Here's my garbage bowl. I'm actually not going to save the skins today. This is going to be for another recipe. But like I said, you can just, these skins, you can keep them and make tomato powder to season your stews and soups and stuff with. Oh yeah, that's way better. And then 1 or 2 things can go on after this. You can, let's see, you can dice these. Like just do a chop like that and chop them into the pieces, sizes that you want. or you can switch them and blend them. Sometimes we blend them because sometimes my husband likes the smoother, like what you would get at a restaurant. Sometimes he likes that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with mine yet, but at this stage you can do it however you want because the processing time when you can it is going to be the same. So that's something to keep in mind. And these are not fully cooked. They're only, like I said, they're just blanched. And if you know what that means, you're just getting the skin off and whatever. So we're not cooking them all the way through. And this is going pretty fast. And there's no exact time. It's just when you start seeing it wrinkle in the pot when it's boiling. Because some of them, most of them, they were ready in 30 seconds. But I had a couple stubborn ones that it was like a minute and a half. So whatever it takes. So like this, I think this is one of the stubborn ones because the skin's not coming off. Still not coming off very easy, but it is coming off. So yeah, and then I've got the onion chopped and the garlic. I didn't. Oh, how do I say it? I was going to show you how I chopped the garlic, but it's the same thing. Because we like the garlic a little bit bigger, so two or bigger chunks of it. But feel free to chop it to the size you want, or you can grate it into there, however you want to do it. So this is going along nicely. I'm going to come back to you when I start cutting the peppers because you get the point of this. You're just taking the skins off, right? And then cutting them into the size that you want and putting them back in the bowl. Okay, so what I decided to do, I decided to put these in my blender and pulse them a little bit. And it still has chunks in there, but it's more of the liquid. Mostly we just prefer that. I like pico, the guy on myself. My husband and my son don't. So usually if I want that, I make a small thing and leave that out for me. So next we're going to put 2 bell peppers in here. I need to dump these in there first. So the garlic and what turned out to be 4.5 cups of onion are going to go in. And we are going to get started on the bell pepper, which won't take long. There's just 2 of them. Well, supposedly. Hey, there's something on there. Good morning, Jared.
Morning.
Jared's just getting up to go to work here in a little bit. And he's got dishwasher duty today, so you'll see him behind me just working away in the kitchen. So again, I'm going to have these the same size that I diced those up, just I guess for consistency purposes. Cut this other one up. See how fast that's going? It's just boom, boom, boom. Alright, so that's the 2 bell peppers. And of course, if you don't like bell peppers, leave them out, but If you like paste picante sauce or any of those others, they all got bell peppers on them and onions too. So, speaking of peppers, the jalapenos are next. And let me see. Oh, I have some gloves. So I am not touching those barehanded. Call me a sissy if you want to. I gotta go find my gloves. I'll be back. Okay, found the gloves. Alright, so we're gonna dice those the same amount of, or same size. And we're gonna take all these seeds out. I mean, we won't heat, but I'm not trying to blister my insides today. So, plus something to think about too during process. When you're canning something during the process, it intensifies whatever flavors are in there. So if you have something sweet, it's going to be even sweeter. So that's why when you take out all these seeds, it's still going to get hot. They're going to be hot. Yeah, I'm a wuss. Call me that if you want to. I'm not touching those things. The air fryer's going. We're going to make some tortilla chips real quick. Because, I mean, how else do you taste test salsa but with tortilla chips, right? So we're going to leave some membrane in there because we want some heat. I'm struggling with this one for some reason. Okay. That one looks funky. We're going to do... We hear you. We already added the food.
We're just using butter knives?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, I see that.
Your dad, for some reason, he has a whole thing of tools in his truck and in the spare bedroom, but when he does something around here, he likes to take my butter knives. So I'm always buying butter knives. Richard Bruner. Yes, he does. Imagine that. I said, the man has more tools than probably anybody needs, and he's still using my butter knife to fix things. Instead of just going and getting his flathead screwdriver, he can just grab one out of my drawer. Ain't that something? Alright, so we're going to do, I think we're going to do 4. And then we're going to stop there and then taste test. And if we need more heat, then we'll add more heat. But yeah, that's definitely something to think about when you're adding heat to the mix, to make sure you understand that the processing is going to intensify the heat. So just a little food for thought. Okay, we're gonna stop there with the jalapenos. So now, we have 8.5 pounds of tomatoes. We have 4.5 cups of onions, 2 bell peppers. I didn't measure out how much it was, but it's just 2 regular sized bell peppers. And then we have 4 jalapenos that are about to go in there. And then we're going to add a bunch of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to put it in there. We love cilantro. Ooh, those jalapenos are strong. We are almost done, to be honest with you, except for the canning part. But as far as the preparation, there's a certain way to cut them, of course. I think I want to add some green onions to this, because I have some I need to use up in the fridge before I get more. So I'm going to give this a rough chop. Hey, I'm going to check on our tortillas. Oh, yeah, I need to stop there. I can't wait till all my herbs and stuff come in. So I can quit buying them from the store. Oh, those are bad. Okay, I think that's probably, I'm going to set that aside in case I need another jalapeno or something. I get a spoon. We're just going to give this a good stir. Then we're going to add any seasonings. I'll be right back to you. All right. So I made some little tortilla chips on those cute. So I feel like the seasoning is right. I did wind up adding another jalapeno off camera. Just wasn't hot enough. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful. I need a moment. Oh yeah, that's really good. So that is ready to go. So I'll be back to you when I get all this mess cleaned up. And I'm going to get the canner out and get the water boiling. And we're going to jar this puppy up. Okay. So I've actually went and did a few things. And I came back. This was marinating and it's getting all the good flavors mixed together. So it's been sitting there about 3 hours, I guess. No harm. I got my water bath canner out again. It is heating up. I got my lids over here simmering. I got jars over here. I'm doing pints today. I got wide mouth and regular mouth just because I don't want to open up another case just for one particular concept. This is what I had that's, been emptied and used and washed and everything. So I'll be putting those in the canner here shortly. So what we're going to do now is just go over what we're going to do. Again, I have my rings, I have rings from regular and wide mouth. Okay, I have my jar, my jar lifter. Okay, I have my metal grabby thing that grabs the lids. It grabs the lid, helps you grab the lid out of the hot water so you don't burn yourself, and keeps everything sterile. I have my debubbler, which also has a ruler. Okay, it also has a ruler to judge half. Now I'm gonna do 1 inch headspace for these, which would be to right about the bottom. That bottom rim of that rim right there is usually almost always, unless it's a different kind of type of jar I've never seen. It's always 1 inch. So if the recipe or whatever says 1 inch, then you know it's going to be at the bottom right there. Half an inch is usually, well, halfway, and a 1/4 inch is usually this top rim, and that's usually reserved for jams and preserves, just because they have, I don't know why, but they don't bubble as much or something. I don't know why, but anyway, so yeah, so that's always going to be a 1 inch headspace right there. All right, when this is done boiling, I'm going to put the jars in there and then let them sterilize. Actually, you know what? We can go ahead and start jarring up because this has to process for 15 minutes, which will more than sterilize the jars. So we're just going to go and get started. How about that? This one's already here. I'm going to start with this one. Dang it, I always forget my ladle. Okay. Curious to how much this recipe with 8.5 pounds, how many it's gonna give. Pretty already. Always, like, every time I fill a jar, I give it a good stir to make sure we have everything in there equally. That is a little too much. So we're gonna just take a little bit out. Haven't cleaned the rims yet. So you always keep a clean spoon on hand when you have to, or when you have to do exactly that. I would like to get some feedback on those that have been following me with this little endeavor I started. And if there's anything that you're wanting to see, like the strawberry jam and the salsa was a request. And I'm always up for trying new things to can just because I am. I'm actually going to make some salsa verde tomorrow, and then we're gonna taste test it. And if it's good, I'm gonna can it, and I'll let y'all see. Because I'm curious about it, because the stuff that I've gotten in the grocery store, a little bland, if you ask me. But I don't know if that's just the nature of the beast or if it can be done better. So I guess we shall see. That's my oven going off. I'll be right back. Okay. We have a little left over. We're gonna have that with supper later. So I had 2, 4, 6. Wait, hang on, I can't count. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 pints, and then 1 12-ounce. That's a good day. That's plenty of salsa. And then when summer hits, we'll be pumping out way more salsa. And then just doing the usual thing. Cleaning off the rims with a wet paper towel with vinegar and water, indoor water. With the acidic foods, it's not as big of a deal, but with the pressure can stuff, it's way more important. And just a reminder, you're getting on the inside and on the outside, and kind of like trace your finger around to make sure there's no chips, because that will prevent a seal also. So we gotta get the lids on these. The water sounds like it's starting to heat up pretty good, so we are almost in business. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, sorry I had to go get something out of the oven. That glad I put the timer on because I forgot it was in there. It just be like that sometimes. So yeah, I would love to hear in the comments on the channel or on the Facebook page of stuff that you guys might want to see canned, or if you have something that you can that you would like to share with all of us, by all means. I love to learn new stuff every day. I try to. But doesn't it look pretty so far? So I can't wait till it comes out of the canner. I haven't made salsa in a while. I'll be honest with you. The last couple of years, I've been canning a lot of meat. Because I did so much water bath stuff like jams and salsas. And they last for years. And I always usually do a big batch. So it was kind of nice to do some salsa for a change. Yeah, so those are all clean. So on a little magnet. I'm just grabbing our little lids right here. We'll put them on first. Now, in this recipe, this is just my own recipe. I mean, I guess it came from something at some point. Most recipes call for lime juice, but I didn't have lime. I had lemon, so I used lemon. Same thing. Kind of like when you're making guacamole, you know, lemon will work if you don't have lime. Ooh, now guacamole sounds good. I think we're gonna have to have a keto version, something this weekend. Um, it's taking some adjustment for the keto thing for us, but we're getting there. You pretty much turn anything keto or low carb. Okay, so everything's sticking to the magnet now. Okay. Yep, sometimes that happens. Okay, so now all those are on. And again, remember, we're just going to put it barely on there, just barely twist it. Okay, because again, and the reasoning again, like if this is your first time watching this, because the heat's going to rise up along with the air, which is what you want in the canning, and you need this to be somewhat loose so that way the air escapes, because it's going to seal. Let me grab another. Just like I said, in case you haven't noticed before, this little gasket, that's what creates the seal. Okay, so you don't have to have the ring tight. You just need this for the air to be able to escape out of the jar. This is actually what seals, not the ring. Ooh, I gotta get some. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Wasn't me. I've been here with y'all the whole time. And I gotta get some rings for the wide mouse. I thought I got. Alright, so Water is boiling. Already got my rack raised, ready to go. Actually, I can just set these down in there and lower it. I can't remember how many pints will go in here in this one within the sink. It's not crowded. Yeah, I think I'm just going to save those three for a minute. So we're going to go ahead and just have to do 2 batches. In you go, guys. Alright. So see the lid, so the lifter handles are easy to grab whenever you grab it out of there. So, let's see. Yep, it's going back to a bowl. Cool. So we're going to do this for 15 minutes. So let's set our timer. And there she goes. Oh, that's my cue. Alright. Move these out of the way. Okay. We're just going to lift the rack up. We're going to let it sit there a few minutes. Okay. So let's take them out. I said a few minutes, a few seconds. Y'all know what I mean. I hope that one will ping while we're taking them out. So see, you can see that there's water on the bottom, and that's not hurting anything. That just means that I didn't get all the water out of the tomatoes. When you're chopping them, you got to drain them a little bit because tomatoes hold a lot of water. But again, it's not the end of the world. It's still going to be delicious. If you want to take the time, these are for us. So the thing is with these, it's okay because we're going to blend them anyway. But if you want to leave it chunky like that, then just make sure you get more of the water out. And like I said, these are for us, so it doesn't really matter. But feel free to chop them up better and drain more of the juice out, or whatever you want to call it. Either way, it's not hurting anything. It takes us a while to finish a jar anyway, so it's not, like I said, it's not hurting anything. It's not like we're being deprived or anything. Cause typically, I add more stuff to it when we eat it anyway. Oh, sorry, Sharon, bowl again. Okay. All right, I guess it's ready to get done too. It's the end of the day. But anyway, so let me grab one again. So anyway, that's the finished product. And this will probably settle anyway. But like I said, if you want less liquid in yours and you want yours more of a chunkier style salsa, then by all means chop them finely and make sure you get all the juice out. Cut them in half and then scoop out the middle. But I don't like to do that. I like it like this because again, we're blending it anyway when we open the jar, so I'm not really worried about it. So that's it, y'all. I'm gonna if you want me to put this recipe in, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put the recipe in and everything. So processing time is 15 minutes for pints, and 15 to 20 minutes is what they say. I usually do like 16 or 17, and it's perfect. For quarts, if you want to do this in quarts, do it for 25. So anyway, well, that's that. I hope to hear back from anybody who wants to see Salsa Verde, because I think I'm gonna make that tomorrow. Maybe I'll record it. Maybe you'll see an epic fail. But won't that be fun? Anyway, love y'all. Bye. Just a little tidbit of information. If you don't have the time or maybe the capability, physical capability, or for whatever reason you don't really want to mess with blanching the tomatoes and peeling the skins off, use these. This is 6 pounds of tomatoes right here. It's perfectly fine. I do it sometimes. Just remember that these are cooked already, so you want to keep your processing time at 15 minutes for pints and 25 minutes for quarts. All right, love y'all. Bye.